The suicide rate was something that was brought up multiple times in the question and answer. It's such an emotionally manipulative piece of rhetoric that the left uses. And I want to show you this next question and my answer, because this is exactly, if you had to put it in a nutshell, how the left weaponizes or exploits these children. This, in a nutshell, is exactly how they do it. Take a look at this one.
Hello.
Hi.
I just want to ask, how do you justify your rhetoric given the suicidality of trans people? Would you rather have trans kid or dead kids?
So what you're engaging in is a logical fallacy that is emotionally manipulative, rhetorical play, and I reject the premise, as all conservatives should. If you actually care about LGBTQIA people who are self-harming, who are suffering from comorbidities, then you will do the loving, compassionate thing, and you will speak reality to them. You will tell them that they are beautiful the way that they are. You will tell them that you care about them. You will help them seek the mental health care that actually does change the rates of self-harm and suicide, whereas the transitions don't. So I don't play around with
that.
Well,
transitions definitely do decrease suicidality in trans people.
Well, could you cite statistics that show that?
I don't have the exact thing. I mean, do you?
Yes,
do you have,
I cited it before in the first question.
Study and everything like that.
I do. Yes.
Can I have that?
Yes, you can.
Like, can you say?
Are you talking about? Do I have it up here?
Yeah.
On this podium right now.
Yeah, because that's what
Well, how about you hand me your
me.
statistics first, and then I'll hand you mine.
No, that's what you were asking me. So if you're not prepared to give out that information, why should I be?
Did you listen to the question about 3 people ago, where I cited the studies?
You didn't cite the study. You simply said, "This is the way it was."
How about this? I'll post my study. Not my study. I'll post the study that I reference on Twitter after this event, and you post yours.
Sounds good.
Thank you for the question.
All right, so as promised, I posted it on Twitter. Anybody can go and look at this study. It's actually from the NIH, and this is the title of it: Long-Term Follow-Up of Transsexual Persons Undergoing Sex Reassignment Surgery, a Cohort Study in Sweden. Of course, I had the reference to this study. I do not make up statistics as the other side does, or fall for manipulative rhetoric intended just to exploit fear and other feelings. Let me read you just this tiny little paragraph. This is the results of the study. The overall mortality for sex reassigned persons was higher during follow-up with a 95% confidence interval than for controls of the same birth sex, particularly death from suicide. Sex reassigned persons also had an increased risk for suicide attempts and psychiatric inpatient care. Comparisons with controls matched on reassigned sex yielded similar results. Female to male, but not male to females, had a higher risk for criminal convictions than their respective birth sex controls. So the conclusion of this study says that persons with transsexualism after sex reassignment have considerably higher risks for mortality, suicidal behavior, and psychiatric morbidity than the general population. Can't be clearer than that, and that should break your heart. That is not me trying to make a point against you. That's me trying to share with you the reality so that you can properly advocate for people who are LGBTQIA identifying, because a lot of these trans activists, some of them are completely radicalized Marxists, but some of them are misguided young people who are trying to be compassionate to their peers. And if that is you, if you are trying to be compassionate to your peers, this is real compassion. To share with them the reality of what it means when they don this identity that's given to them by queer theory. There's also, of course, the philosophical meandering, and I don't want to get off on a tangent here, of what would the limiting principle be if we allowed our society to hold us hostage with the threat of suicide? Like, where would that end, right? If we give everybody what they want, or anybody something that they want just because they threaten to kill themselves, like, where does that stop? Are we gonna allow a 16-year-old girl to get a breast augmentation just because she threatens to kill herself? Are we gonna allow a high school aged boy to run a brothel at his house just because he threatens to kill himself? Like, what is the limiting principle on this? I don't think there is a limiting principle on this. It is hostage taking. It's emotional hostage taking, and conservatives should reject it. all that being said, I'm incredibly grateful for the event last night. I had a marvelous time. It was a crazy whirlwind event, and I'm super grateful for the Young America's Foundation and especially the students at the YAF chapter on James Madison University for hosting me. And I'm really grateful for all the people that showed up, the trans activists and the leftists that came to the microphone. I do want to talk about this Tucker Carlson video. Tucker Carlson finally spoke out after he was fired from Fox News. He posted a video on Twitter last night. This happened, I think, during my event. I saw it on the drive home. And I want to play it for you and then share one little thought, one little speculation that I have. So let's play this. We bring it up.
Good evening, it's Tucker Carlson. One of the first things you realize when you step outside the noise for a few days is how many genuinely nice people there are in this country. Kind and decent people, people who really care about what's true, and a bunch of hilarious people also, a lot of those. It's got to be the majority of the population, even now. So that's heartening. The other thing you notice when you take a little time off is how unbelievably stupid most of the debates you see on television are. They're completely irrelevant. They mean nothing. In 5 years, we won't even remember that we had them. Trust me, as someone who's participated. And yet at the same time, and this is the amazing thing, the undeniably big topics, the ones that will define our future, get virtually no discussion at all. War, civil liberties, emerging science, demographic change, corporate power, natural resources. When was the last time you heard a legitimate debate about any of those issues? It's been a long time. Debates like that are not permitted in American media. Both political parties and their donors have reached consensus on what benefits them, and they actively collude to shut down any conversation about it. Suddenly, the United States looks very much like a one-party state. That's a depressing realization, but it's not permanent. Our current orthodoxies won't last. They're brain dead. Nobody actually believes them. Hardly anyone's life is improved by them. This moment is too inherently ridiculous to continue, and so it won't. The people in charge know this. That's why they're hysterical and aggressive. They're afraid. They've given up persuasion. They're resorting to force. But it won't work. When honest people say what's true, calmly and without embarrassment, they become powerful. At the same time, the liars who've been trying to silence them shrink, and they become weaker. That's the iron law of the universe. True things prevail. Where can you still find Americans saying true things? There aren't many places left, but there are some, and that's enough. As long as you can hear the words, there is hope. See you soon.
There are many places left, he says, but see you soon. Tucker Carlson is going to make a comeback. Hi guys, it's Liz Wheeler. Don't forget to watch my show, The Liz Wheeler Show, every night at 7 p.m. on the First TV. You can download the free First TV app, or you can visit thefirsttv.com/Liz and start watching today.